Welcome back to Switch to Linux. So today what we are going to do is have a look at Kubuntu 17.10 Beta 1. So of course there's a few beta releases before the actual 17.10 is released, but this is the first of the beta release candidates that they have released, and we're just going to go ahead and have a look at it. So overall, I have not noticed any real issues with it. It's actually not too large to download. It's like 1.7, 1.8 gigs, somewhere around there. It installed flawlessly in a few minutes, and as Ubuntu usually does, it has the option to choose or reject the proprietary codecs. So depending on if you need access to codecs for running media files, you can install that or not install that. I think that that's one of the things that a lot of people miss, and they'll be like, some of these new Linux distros have all this proprietary software. No, only if you click the install button. Actually, you can run it without a real big deal. In fact, they've made it easy to have drivers menus where you can pick which systems have which proprietary things and which ones are using open source drivers. So, but the thing is that if that's not a huge deal for you, or if you've tested a particular proprietary driver and it is fine for you, you have the easy ability to install it from within the OS, and that is why Ubuntu works so well. Basically, the Ubuntu family has the variety of different desktop environments. Nearly every major desktop environment you can get the Ubuntu flavor, except apparently Unity. Go figure. Oh well. But regardless, what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at the distro. So I have it running in a VirtualBox over here, so I have not done anything to this as far as changing it. So what we do get here is right outside the box. I think one of the reasons it's so small is it doesn't come with pretty much any other theming options. So we can come down to configure the desktop here, and you can see we have one wallpaper available. But of course, KDE has the easy availability here to click on this button, and you can download more wallpapers from online. So if you already know what wallpapers you want to use, quick and easy, install them. If you want to look for something specific, you can come in here and look for better wallpapers, or you can just stick with the one wallpaper they give you. And that's actually pretty handy. Now, some of the things about the system is it runs essentially all of the software that would come prepackaged on KDE. Plus, it only adds, I believe, to my understanding, it only adds Firefox, and I think Thunderbird is also on here. So those are. Let me see that real quick. I'm not sure if Thunderbird's on here or not. So I imagine they'd use Kmail. Yeah, it's Firefox, and they list there's one other application that's not a KDE application. If we can find it in the documentation, we'll look at it. About the system itself, the Plasma version is 5.10.5, and the kernel is 4.12. So this is a very, very up-to-date system. So if you are having issues because of newer hardware and you want the latest kernel, or the latest versions of things, this is a great option that you can look with. It will run everything. I've not noticed any bugs, although I haven't done a whole lot with it yet. Let's just go ahead and have a look at our system settings. So over here, let's have a look at what's in our themes. So inside of our themes, we only have the Breeze and the Breeze Dark. We have our basic Air, Breeze, Breeze Dark, Breeze Light, and our Oxygen theme. And the cursors, we just have the basic cursors. So everything on here is essentially the same. Now, why might you use KDE? Well, you might use it because in one of the Ubuntu or possibly the KDE Neon, we'll talk about that in a minute, and maybe the Linux Mint KDE implementations, they have fixed some of the little things, like on my Debian system over here, which is also running KDE, I'm still having issues with some applications max out the volume every time I load them, so I just have to adjust my computer use for that. And actually, I've attempted to set a login wallpaper, and it will not seem to take a login wallpaper. I haven't dug deep into that, but every time I've come over here to the Ubuntu flavors and adjust my custom wallpapers and splash screens and things, then it will actually work. So that is a real good reason to use one of these Ubuntu-based KDE implementations. Is they're very nice. Now you'll notice that over here we have our widgets menu is on the right. I'm used to that always being on the left, but it is there on the right, and it is still down here on in the lower right, down here in the corner. Of course, I like to lock my widgets. I come over in here and hit the lock widgets, which will make the one down here in the corner go away, and we can still access the one up at the top to unlock them like that. So, yeah, I know they're unlocked. Yep. You didn't see the notification that popped up right under my picture, but the notifications are right down where my image is, so you can see those. All right, so as far as the other applications, everything you would expect out of KDE. We have our basic KDE applications. Oh, LibreOffice. That's the other one that is not a KDE application that's pre-installed. So let's see. There's ImageMagick. We have the KDE Image Viewer, Document Viewer. We have the KTorrent, Conversation, Kmail. Kmail, I really like Kmail. It's a little bit more advanced to set up. So if you're new to Linux and you're looking for like more of an older Outlook style where you have one unified inbox and all your emails sorted into there and you can use filters, Kmail works great. It does take a little bit more to set up than some of your other email apps. If you are looking for one of those and you can't get Kmail working, use Evolution. I think a lot of distros will use Thunderbird, which is probably the #1 Linux email app. I like Thunderbird, just not enough to use it all the time. Let's see. There's remote desktop clients. File viewers. As far as multimedia, we have K3B, VLC, and Kentana. I thought that was a Rorac. Huh. Maybe they changed that in this particular version. In fact, on the online documentation, they still talk about having, is it a Rorac, a Morac, whatever that one is, I forget. There's our Office. Okay. So you will see that that it will list what the application type is in the large text and underneath it the actual name. I generally flip that around. You can flip that around in the settings. They do have it set so you can work directly off the desktop in this, which is good. That's the way I prefer it. It is, though, the single click to access the folders in Dolphin rather than the double click. So if you're used to KDE single click, then it'll be the same for you. But if you're more used to a Windows or a Mac environment and you're moving over, keep note that many KDE distros single click icons to open them and activate them. Takes a little bit of getting used to, but actually I like it after using it for so long. Let's have a look at our system monitor here. So here's our load. You can see we're using only about 600 megabytes of memory, which is not too bad, and processors are not really overworking there either. So that's good. It is not running on heavy here. Let's see if we have our alternatives available to us. Oh, yep. Wait. I thought I saw them show up. Okay, so we can pick the dashboard, the launcher, or the menu. So we'll go ahead and cancel that. Let's go ahead and have a look at some release notes. So we do have Firefox on here by default. You know what? Before we do that, let's go ahead and load up Discover. I want to see what other web browsers are available. I know some people like using Google Chrome. I'm not a big fan of Chrome, but let's see if Chrome is in here. So we have Chromium web browser, and we have some Chromium Space Shooter arcade game. Let's see if Chrome loads. So I'm not seeing Chrome install here, which doesn't surprise me too much. I don't believe Ubuntu has it. But if you do want to use Google Chrome and you are running Ubuntu, you can just download it. I said, I'm not a fan of Google Chrome, but I know a lot of people are like, can I use Chrome? So you'd come over here, download the 64-bit deb, and then we'll go ahead and open that with the installer, and that should not have a problem installing once it downloads. Said, I'm not a big fan of this, but a lot of people like Chrome, and so show you how to get it. The places I would use Chrome is that there was a while if you wanted to use certain things like Amazon videos, you had to use Chrome on Linux. I think you can use Firefox now. Oh, there it goes. Just took a second to get loaded up. So here, we'll just go ahead and install the package. You need to enter your password. Usually you always want to install things from repositories first. You could have actually gotten a PPA for this to install it, but the deb package for me is okay. So now I should have access to Google Chrome in here. Yep, there you go. So there's Google Chrome, which I won't use because I don't like Google Chrome. All right. But we do have access to Chromium, which I will use without a big deal. So now let's do... It does look like their Firefox is kind of stock. These are what I would expect to see. Some distros, like if you install Firefox from my Debian, actually has some customized search options in here, including the option to have start page, which I like, and it also has a Debian package search as well. I'm just going to go ahead and search on Google because I would use start page otherwise, but we're just going to do Kubuntu, grab up the main page, and then here's their main site. Right now, if you want to test out this beta version, you want to come over to News. If you click on Download, you'll just have the older version. So here you can go ahead and click on the testing here, and then download the images over here. And you can just pick up whichever image. I think, was it this one, I think that sounds right. No, that's Ubuntu. Hello. Up here. You can grab all of the Ubuntus there. So over here, I just came down here, and I believe I selected the live session, if I remember correctly. Disk, LVM, and encryption, manual partitioning, entire disk, auto resize, OEM setup. Yeah, somewhere in here. Just hunt down the version that you need. And then I believe there were some release notes for as well. Of course, if you're running the beta versions, make sure you report any bug that you encounter, please. That will help them make sure that it is there. Although I have not encountered anything in this system. I had the common thing that I routinely find in an Ubuntu build in a virtual box is it won't reboot itself, so you have to power down the machine, turn it back on. First time I turned it on, it didn't load up, although that has happened to me on several different Ubuntu builds, so that was perfectly okay. So here you'll see the release notes here. Not a whole lot here, but who is it for, who is it not for, and then you can, oh, here we go. Here's, I think, where you can download some things. I think that takes us to the same thing. Well, we can download it, put it onto a disk or a USB drive. In this case, I'm just running it on a virtual box. You can see we have the latest Plasma. We have KDE application 17.04.3. And then there's a couple of known issues and a few older bugs. So if you see those things there, they're probably there. If you encounter any other issues, let them know so they can work on it. Not a whole lot on the release notes. They just released this today. So it is working, everything I'm seeing. So we actually already downloaded. Let's just go ahead and go back into Discover and install something else here. Let's see what else we can do. Let's install that arcade game. I don't play enough video games. Let's see how this runs. Basically, I'm just testing applications, see how things are running. Seeing a way to scroll. Let's see. I guess not an easy way to scroll. There should be a way to see. I'm getting a little scroll bar over here. There we go. That took a while to get that scroll bar showing up. I think it's just still downloading or grabbing files and things. So that's that. Okay, so that Chromium is installed. Let's go ahead and have a look at that. Space shoot 'em up. Yeah. Do I have to shoot this thing? I'm guessing I have to shoot these things, but they're not seeming to die. Hey, they do die. Okay. I'm guessing this Linuxy thing is a power-up, is my thought. No. Die. If you haven't guessed, this is why I don't play many video games. I'm actually pretty horrible at video games. But it's cool they exist. Yeah. Got me a... Ooh, I got a little laser thing in there now. Really? What did I hit? Things like a weird version of Life Force, if you remember old Life Force from the old Nintendo games. No! Yep, I got blowed up. We're gonna hit the glowy, scully thing. It's gonna kill me. Ooh, Linux power up. Alright, well that was fun. We're gonna go ahead and stop playing now. If I can figure out how. There we go. Alright. Oh, there you go. So there's some fun video games in here, you know. I don't play a lot of video games, but I guess you got some options there. So that's pretty cool. Well, let's go ahead and add some widgets. I'm just going to see if I can encounter any bugs. So you just pull down the widget item down there. Just grab some items that you want. Let's see, what else might we like? Oh, there's a binary clock. There you go. Linux comic strips. So that should give me a little comic strip over here. Maybe. Might have to play with that one a little bit. See if I can get that working off camera, and if I can, I'll look to see if there's an issue with that. There's a weather forecaster. We can do that. Okay, let's close our widgets panel. It's like our okay, weather forecast options. Let's do. I always mess that up the first couple times. You have to put in where you're at, and then search. No, I'm not in California. There you go. Apply that. So now that's giving me my weather. Let's go ahead and right click on this guy here, jump to current. I'm not seeing, there it is. I was going to say, I was not seeing my ability to resize. Some of the widgets, if you don't size them right, they will not actually work. It's possible that that particular comic strip is not working right either. So, all right. Well, so there's that. I mean, I haven't encountered any crashes, any bugs with it yet. Let's go ahead and load up LibreOffice here, see if that works out well. Okay, properties. Let's also about. So 5.4.0.3 on Libre. Okay, great. All right, well, that is just a little bit here about Kubuntu 17.10 beta build. Seems to work just fine out of the box. I'm noticing, let's see, everything seems just fine. Looks like a pretty good release candidate for me, but it's kind of up for them to say. Anyway, so that has been just a real quick, brief overview there, looking at this. Go check out that build if you are particularly a person, if you like KDE, particularly Kubuntu, or if you like Ubuntu brands and you're looking for another version of Ubuntu to run because Unity's going away. That might be a logical choice. I love KDE. I don't run KDE as much on my production systems, but I always run it on my media systems for some reason. This guy's either Debian KDE or it's my Linux Mint KDE running on this computer. So that's pretty good. If you would like to help support what we do at Switch to Linux, check out switchtolinux.com/support. As of the time of this video, we have a Patreon account, patreon.com/TomM, and there are Amazon links down below. So thanks for watching, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.